Joining us to discuss the vice presidential debate last night is Dr. Jeff Sadow from LSU Shreveport, political science professor. Dr. Jeff, how are you this morning? Thank you for joining us.
Good, thanks. How about yourself?
Well, I once again, as is my it's just my way. Mm-hmm. I didn't watch a lick of it last night.
I did. I got to skip my Ambien.
So,
all right.
So what did you think? Fill me in. What did I miss?
Well, looking at Tim Kaine, who's the U.S. Senator, vice presidential candidate for the Democrats, you would have thought he was off his medication on this one. He was just hyperactive all over the place. The Republican vice presidential candidate, Governor Mike Pence, every time he tried to say something, Kaine would be in about 5 seconds interjecting this, that, or the other.
Pardon me, because Erin's got the number. You may. Pence was interrupted by Kaine. Was it 50-something? How many times was it?
Yeah, it was a lot. I don't have that scale up, but they did a scale of how many interruptions there were.
Yeah, no, I didn't keep count myself, but I think it was obvious to anybody that was a lot of times. And, and every time he did interrupt, at least half the time, it had little to do with actually what was being talked about at the time. It was some jab at the personal life or statements of Donald Trump.
The interruptions, the distractions, the changing subjects, it was like they both were on a mission and they didn't care what questions were asked. This was the worst I've seen it in a long time.
Well, to some extent. I mean, that was basically Kaine's mission, was to, at every available opportunity, to make this campaign about Trump's personal qualities or characteristics, whereas Pence had a issue-driven based message to get out, and even when Kaine kept trying to bait him into saying certain things, presumably about Trump, Pence ignored that. He just kept rolling on and on with direction towards the issues, preferences that he wanted to talk about.
Given the fact that every poll you see will tell you that the presidential debate, much less a VP debate, that it really doesn't change anybody's mind. I guess my question would be, the tradition that is the vice presidential debate, is it basically the Pro Bowl of politics? Is it time it just died off and went away?
No, I think it's useful in that these guys, the nominees, are a heartbeat away from the presidency, as the saying goes. So it's always good to get a look at who possibly might become president if something unfortunate happens. So yeah, I mean, it's an hour and a half of television these days isn't that expensive. So why not put it out there? So yeah, let's keep it going.
A CNN instant poll showed that Pence won 49% to 42%.
And that's CNN.
And that's CNN. Yeah. Does that surprise you?
No, having watched it, it didn't. I didn't think Pence won, going away or anything. But it was certainly a contrast in styles. He certainly looked much more vice presidential, I guess. And I think really where a difference was made is in all these different attacks on Trump. Towards the end, Pence managed to move the conversation into the direction of the Clinton Foundation and gave some fairly devastating information about that. Someone that really, for people that didn't really know anything about the issue, Kaine really had no answer to that. I mean, after an hour and 15 minutes of talking about how bad Trump was, basically right there, Pence was able to show that Clinton was, if you want to put it that way, it was at least as bad in terms of what had been going on with her involvement in the foundation.
So pardon me, looking forward to Sunday night, the second presidential debate, do you think that Donald Trump learned anything from the first, or do you think he's just going to, no, I don't, I'll just go in and I'll just go in and wing it again because I'm magic?
Well, that's a good question. I think almost any other candidate out there would have looked at that first performance and looked at his running mate's performance, which should, I think, have been more, if Trump wanted to be effective, be more like Pence in the way he did it. Most candidates would take lessons from that. Trump, I don't know, because he's again he got to where he did by doing what he did. So I don't know that he sees in any reason to change that. So I guess we'll have to tune in and find out.
What could he do, or what could Hillary do Sunday night, if they could do anything, that could be a real solid, not a knockout blow, but close?
A mind changer.
Yeah, changing everybody's mind.
At this, I don't think Clinton can do anything like that at this point. Not only because she's thrown the kitchen sink at Trump, at least on personal qualities already, but because she's been in the public eye so long that there's just it's like trying to turn a cruise ship. It'd take a tremendous amount of effort and hardly move the needle at all. I mean, it's going in this particular direction. But I think Trump, if he would focus more on the issues, be more like Pence in that respect, and not be afraid to talk about things like the Clinton Foundation, the IRS, Benghazi, things like that, he could make a little progress there. Whether he'll do that, is another thing.